50 burns well for a good hot pile of the pectogen stuff. Mr. Worm and the fungi family are the compost organisms you actually can see and to avoid. Bad smell, you got to cover it well with sawdust and leaves. Nobody can tell. So coming to the Eco-Village design education here in 2018, I realized that one of the main things that they somehow invited us into is to go really deep into our feelings and inner emotional processes, and to really let go of this idea that we are alone in our fear and alone in our anger, and to really see all these emotions that are sometimes seen as unwanted, to see them as actually really crucial to becoming connected authentically as human beings. And I actually see lots of similarities with the whole process of our digestive system and shitting things out and making compost out of it. Expressing things of like deep-rooted fears and vulnerabilities that, hey, this is based in a story and I don't need that story anymore. So I can just express what is there and just let it be transformed, and trust that actually by expressing it, it creates a fertile ground for other things to flourish again.
I feel like everyone is looking for that, for contact, for connection, for being seen, for the sense of belonging, but something is holding us back, and I don't know what it is. I mean, fear, I would say. Fear from being seen and rejected and hurt, and maybe fear of not being enough and then therefore not be loved maybe. But then also, why is it so hard to get in contact with yourself even? Maybe it's out of the same reasons. For me, that's really also this whole transformative culture idea. It's really about this contact with the unknown, and to kind of be with yourself in this contact and then grow into the unknown and overcome this fear.
I was asking myself, what does it take for me to feel safe in a space? And I think that's not the thing to only focus on. Because even with my closest family or friends, I sometimes don't feel safe, and that's okay. The question is, do I feel safe in myself? Can I give myself that safety, and what would that need? One that really struck me was the realization how important sisterhood is, and how so many interactions are based on the relationship that I have towards women. Like, for example, jealousy. I would not need to fear if I would truly love and see the light of my sister. How come that we diminish our lights when we could support each other in order to shine? And how strong would that be?
It doesn't work to keep it all in and to try and fix your own emotions and everything on your own, because I can be very individualistic in thinking that I have to be successful on my own, or be super organized on my own, or take care of a lot of stuff alone. And I do that here as well. If I'm going through something, I fight with myself for 1 or 2 days to try and suppress it and close myself off. And then the aha moment is when either I realize that I have to ask for help, or somebody comes to me, because we're with such a beautiful group here that people see each other. And then the aha moment is that then I can instantly feel this energy start to flow, and then it doesn't make any sense to do it alone. I mean, some things you have to do alone, you have to be self-responsible, but it's through this connection that you get to move again.
Conflict is not a thing that is out there. It's something that's in here. And this means that the conflict takes place within the human neurobiological system. So it's a specific experience. And for many of us, it's an experience that we don't necessarily like. And I feel one thing that has been really important in my work is that we don't start with the other. It's like the person or the situation that we make responsible for feeling how we feel. This means like we really take more ownership of how we actually experience a conflict. It usually has not so much as we think to do with the other person and much more as we would like to acknowledge with ourselves.
At the beginning, when I first saw him, somehow he triggered a lot in me, and him sitting there was so much resistance. And then I slowly started to understand what he really does.
And what I find happens is when we own more our own process, is that by becoming more clear within ourselves, we restore a certain response flexibility. So when I find out more why I feel so uncomfortable in a situation with you, and if I take proper care of that, then I can start to see you in your situation and where you are. This doesn't mean that I need to agree with you, that's a different question. But I have more flexibility in my response and there's more options available to me. And this is usually when people in conflict situations start, sometimes even out of themselves, to come up with very creative solutions.
The times are urgent, you must slow down. I think what fascinates me with the work of Daniel is that it moves into a place that is unknown, that we have no words for it, and therefore it's not really content that you learn with him, but it's an embodied experience. And this, to feel what it means like to host yourself.
Somehow there's something very magical about this process. It feels really good to bring people together and to explore what is possible and be in a really authentic way with ourselves, to relate to each other in a way that we can be really vulnerable also. It just needs to get out and it needs to be loved and it needs to have some air and some time and it can compost.